Career Crown Podcast. I'm your host, Lynn Whitbeck, the Strategic Sales Queen. And today I'm joined by an absolutely fabulous guest, Kathy Riemann. And we're going to be talking about what is tallow, and why is it good for your skin? And, for some of us, skincare can feel a little overwhelming, especially with so many natural products that don't always live up to the hype. And tallow is making a big comeback. And today, Kathy is going to break down what it is, why it works so well, and how it can completely change the way you care for your skin. And I just want to remind you, if you love the show, you love the episode, we would love to have you subscribe and leave us that 5-star review. So let me tell you a little bit about Kathy. Kathy is the founder of Bluffside Apple. Oh my gosh, I can't even say it. Apothecary. Well, see, there you know it's not AI.
Right.
And organic skincare brand rooted in timeless ingredients and intentional craftsmanship. Inspired by her background in senior living, Kathy creates small batch products using tallow, botanicals, and thoughtfully sourced organic ingredients designed to nourish skin at every stage of life. And Kathy, I am so thrilled to welcome you. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here too. It's a privilege. It's an honor to share a little bit about what I do, why I do it, and yeah, what an honor to be able to talk about something I love.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, that's the best part, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I really want to get right into it because I'd love to. I actually know a little bit about your backstory, but I'd love you to share what inspired you to get started creating skincare with tallow.
Uh, it's really fascinating when I think about it. I feel like I've lived so many lifetimes in my life. As we all have, and all my experiences throughout my life have shaped me, and I kind of feel like I've gone full circle. I've had a number of different life experiences that have really made me focus in on being healthy. I want to live a healthy lifestyle. I've always kind of been that way from a young age. The narrative in my family was, we don't live very long in our family, and we don't have those longevity genes. And I just thought, I don't want that to be my narrative. And so I've always been kind of focused on keeping myself healthy, and at different stages that means something different, right?
Yeah.
And so then I raised my family, and I was a stay-at-home mom for when they were young up until they were in high school. And I had a senior move management business where I worked with seniors and their families for about um, 12 to 15 years, and in different stages of that,
Yeah.
I helped people move, and then I worked in a community in the sales and marketing office, and just watching that process of aging was really an eye opener for me, as far as how do you want to age, what do you want that to look like. I was seeing role models on both sides of the spectrum. So I thought, okay, so I want to age in a way where I am not only healthy, but I'm engaged in life. I just I keep myself active and interested in things. And so watching these role models was truly inspiring. And so then we would talk about, well, what are some of the physical challenges, and skincare was always, we always need to be careful as our skin ages. Our skin barrier weakens, and when your skin barrier weakens, then you're more susceptible to tears, bruising. And when that happens, when you tear your skin, then that leads to infections and
Yeah.
some serious concern. Uh, so I had been making bone broth for years, And I was doing that for gut health and for skin health, because you nourish your body inside first and then it reflects the outside. And the fat layer on the top, I thought, that's fascinating. I wonder what you could do with this. This was years ago. So I just started researching and went, oh my gosh, you can render that into tallow. And the tallow, you can cook with it, you can do all kinds of crazy things with it. And I thought, well, I'm going to use it on my skin because, gosh, we're talking a lot about the skin barrier. So that's when I learned all about the benefits of tallow for skincare. And then I started buying locally sourced fat from my butcher. So, and bones from my butcher, grass fed, of course. And I learned all the benefits of it, that it is the most bioidentical to our own skin. So our skin recognizes it. So it absorbs it quickly, and it helps repair your skin barrier, and it works with your own natural sebum to keep it healthy and strong and resilient. It's rich in vitamins A, D, E, and K. It's just something that the skin, it just loves it. So
Okay.
that's kind of how it started. And I started for myself. I was making it for myself, and it was really kind of crude, I guess you could say. I had friends try it, and I'm like, oh, that's a little bit, I don't know about that. So when I retired from senior living, I thought, okay, I'm really going to do a deep dive into how do I make these tallow emollients into something that is luxurious, but also not only does it feel luxurious, it becomes something that is almost a necessity.
Okay.
When you look at the ingredients in what you're putting on your skin, and you see that mostly it's water, that's typically the first ingredient, and then all these other things, you don't know what they are, you can't pronounce them. Uh, so I started really learning about all the different carrier oils that are out there. Who knew there's so many? Moringa oil and tamanu oil and all these great things. So I started experimenting with mixing my tallow with these different carrier oils. What worked best, and what am I trying to address here? What skin issue am I trying to address? So then I could pick and choose which ones kind of helped with that priority, and then using essential oils to enhance it, like rose, and which is the skin loves that. Frankincense, which is a powerhouse. So really learning all about the uses of these different carrier oils and essential oils, and why we use them, um, and what they can do for our skin. And it was interesting to me too, how when you consider what the typical skincare, what's in it, what are they basing these chemicals from? They're based from natural compounds. So these chemical lab produced compounds are actually based on natural compounds. So why wouldn't I want to use the natural ones? So it's just been so fun learning about that and experimenting. And then I thought, well, I can't just stop with tallow. So then I produced a line of cleansing oils and toners and skin serums, and then of course the tallow. So then when you use them all together, it's quite lovely.
Yeah. So, so the tallow, I just to reiterate, because I didn't know what it was. So it's actually a byproduct of making the bone broth of the
Yes.
bones. That's
Well, that's how
great.
it started, but now
Okay.
I get the fat right from the butcher, and it's a suet. So it is it's so I don't use the fat from my bone broth anymore because it's not as clean.
Okay.
Yeah, so I purchase big lots at a time, like 50 pounds at a time of the bones and 50 pounds of the suet. Um, so if I take the fat from my bone broth, I use that for cooking.
Yeah.
I don't use that for the skincare. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so then that helps because it was like, okay, that's a mystery. And I loved everything that you were talking about. So, and you really sort of went into this about the problem that tallow helps solve when it comes to skincare, because you were
Yeah.
talking about how it's the closest um, to our skin so that it recognizes it.
Yes.
But how else um, what other problems does tallow solve when we're talking about our skincare?
So surprisingly enough, it's really great for skin that have chronic conditions like eczema and acne, which is surprising. You would think, I don't want to put anything greasy on my face if I have acne. That just
Yeah.
seems odd. But what it does is it helps. So typically, what we do when we have skin conditions like that, like acne, we are over cleansing. We are
Mm.
using harsh things, uh, chemicals, and or just detergents on our skin that dry it out. So then our skin overreacts, and it starts overproducing oil, and it almost becomes this vicious cycle where you're trying to clean up that excess oil, but then you dry your skin out, and then the skin freaks out and go, I need to produce more oil. So it really helps repair that, and helps your skin recognize that, oh, okay, so I'm in balance now. My oil production is proper. So
Yeah.
it's important to, when you have a condition like that, is to not over um, cleanse your skin.
So if essentially tallow is more effective in addressing things like eczema and
Yeah,
acne and other skin conditions than traditional lotions and creams. Is that correct?
that's what I have found. I mean, that's what has worked for me. It may not, may not work for everyone, but it has helped a number of people, my son included. He feels like his skin has never felt better, because it doesn't get that tight dryness, and then it's itchy and dries and scratchy, and
All those things.
yeah. But really, tallow, it just feels, your skin doesn't feel greasy. um, you know how when you use lotion and then you wash your face or your body, and you just feel it running off you, because it just kind of sits on the top, where this
Yeah.
absorbs right in, and so it just feels natural.
Yeah. And then I'm sure that with the work that you're doing with Bluffside, you have clients who've used these products and have been really happy with them as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have found that for myself and my clients, that once you start using these products, you don't want to use the mass produced typical products, because they don't it just feel doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And really understanding the purity of the things that you're putting on your skin is important. And rather than, um, as you're talking about, overcompensating by doing something with essentially chemicals that are making things go out of balance. And then you're trying to rebalance it with something else. And yeah. So that makes a lot of
Vicious
sense.
cycle.
So, I mean, what I'm really curious about is why do you think tallow has been either overlooked or misunderstood for a long time? I mean, first of all, I mean, I wasn't even aware, I'm going to be honest, about what it was.
Yeah.
So it wasn't being misunderstood, but definitely overlooked. But as we were talking, and I was going like, wait, this is like bone, a fat. I was like, okay,
Fat.
wait, now I'm
Yeah, it's
misunderstanding. So
it's
there I am. So I'd love to hear that.
well, it is something our ancestors have used for all different kinds of things, and I think um, sometimes it's hard to kind of get over that perception of I'm putting what on my skin? You want
Yeah.
me to do what? uh, so I mean, it is not for everybody, but uh, it has become quite popular. I had no idea. See, I didn't know what it was until 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
Uh, and I just happened upon it just by accident. I was in one of these phases where, oh, I don't want to waste anything, so I'm throwing this stuff out. What can I do with it? So
Yeah.
that's how I discovered it. Otherwise, I would have never known about it.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, so many of different things, whether they're medicines or products, they did come from the natural
Yes.
products. I've
Yeah.
always thought about it in a lot of different ways. And you're right. I love to make my own vegetable broth, which is a little
Hmm.
different, but besides putting like the carrot tops in there, which are completely edible, right? Or
Yeah.
the beet greens. Um, but I also was like, well, what can I do with carrot tops? What else can I do with them? And I
Hmm.
discovered a couple really great recipes that I love to make that use carrot tops in them, and it's like, who knew? And
Who
it was,
knew?
yeah. And it was like the first time I accidentally got beets in my bag at a farmer's market. and and I went, okay, I've never cooked beets. And all of a sudden and I was like, okay, well, let's try a couple different. And then it was like, oh my gosh, these are
Oh,
so
they're
delicious. There's
fabulous.
all these different ways to make them. And the same with
Right.
beet greens. I'll use limited numbers in salads because they can be a bit bitter. But
Yeah.
it's like I discovered a couple recipes to use with beet greens. But a lot of that goes in, they would go into my my vegetable broth. But then I know exactly what's in that vegetable broth,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah. You
So
go look at the ingredients of the broth that you buy at the store.
yeah.
It's far better when you make it yourself with the
Oh yeah.
ingredients that you know what's in it.
Yeah, and the flavor profiles, it's so fun because, you just buy the different bag things of herbs, and we were talking
Yeah.
about, like, the botanicals, those different things that
Mhm.
whether I mean, I don't put rose petals in mine, but you know what I mean? The rose petals are actually edible, as
They
long as you
are.
haven't s sprayed them with
Braid them
pesticides,
right.
And so, if you got aphids, use a garlic spray or something, yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, we sort of digress here, but I'm really getting into this. So, um, when you were, who is tallow skincare especially good for? I mean, who really
Everybody.
is okay?
Everybody. Babies. It's great for babies because it is a barrier. So you can use it for like diaper cream.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, it helps protect their bums from moisture because it's going to lock in your natural moisture, but then it gives you a nice little barrier there. So it's great for babies. If it's unscented, you want to make sure if you are using it on babies that it's not mixed with things
yeah,
that are not great for baby skin. But it's great for elderly skin. And that was really kind of my motivation. Um, when I first started, I thought I'm going to make these tallows for specifically the seniors in these communities where you can't get enough moisture on that skin. You just can't. Uh,
yeah,
so that was my motivation, and I have a special one of my tallows is designed for that mature skin that needs all the help that it can get to repair that skin barrier, to provide it with some extra hydration and healing properties. So that one's going to have the tamanu and the moringa and the helichrysum and frankincense and myrrh and all those great things that help repair that skin barrier and repair wounds, quite honestly.
Oh, well, that's great. So it sounds like there's really no limit to certain skin types or stages that benefit most. It could be though that the formulation that you put together
Yes.
could be very specific.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if it's someone with acne, then that's going to be something a little different from my um, one that's geared for more mature skin. And if it's for babies, then that's going to be different from my acne um, formula. So yeah, it really kind of depends on what is it you're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
targeting? What stage of life are you in?
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, just like anything that any kind of product that you're
Yeah.
looking for. So, um, this has been so fascinating. What should listeners do next if they're curious about trying tallow for their skin?
Uh, well, um, I would say hop over to the website and take a peek. And if you're curious and read the story behind it, you know, there's a journal posting on the benefits of tallow and why we use it and why I use it and why I choose to use it. There's also you can see what the ingredients are when and what the different formulas are and uh, see if one is intriguing enough for you to want to
Yeah.
try a little sample. You know, I do have little sample sizes, so if you're curious, yeah, I find it so fun. It's just so fun.
Yeah. So, if you're curious, then that's what you need to do is
Yeah,
hop on
hop
over.
over, hop over to the website. Send me an email if you have questions,
Yeah.
because I love to answer questions.
Yeah. So, Kathy, thank you so much for sharing what is tallow and why is it so good for your skin. And I know that our listeners are going to want to know more about how they can connect with you or find out more about your products. And yeah, let us know how can they do that.
Visit the website. It's bluffsideapothecary.com. I do have an Instagram account, which is also Bluffside Apothecary. And I have a Facebook page. You can find me there, learning all the ins and outs of that social media side of things. So they can find me there.
Okay. And for those of you who are live with us now, I've dropped Kathy's website for Bluffside Apothecary. Oh, I got it right
You
in
did.
the in the chat. And for those of you who are listening and watching afterwards, we'll have that in the show notes right down below, so it's easy access. And Kathy, thank you so much. This
No,
has been
thank
such a
you, Lynn.
pleasure. And thank you to all our listeners. We so appreciate your being here with us. I mean, I found this a really fascinating and informative discussion, and I hope you did as well. And once again, Kathy, thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
all your great knowledge.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right. All right. Take care, everyone.